Coming up, heading for the basement as a tornado makes a direct hit on the home. A year later, a Sioux Falls homeowner shares his takeaway from that devastating night.
And across town, straight-line winds from the same storm causes even more damage. The motivation for one store to rebuild. Good morning, this is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
1 year ago, so many lives in Sioux Falls were turned upside down by three devastating tornadoes, including Matt Dittmanson's home. He was at home that night when his house took a direct hit by one of the tornadoes.
He says he tried to get to the basement, but it happened so fast he never made it, yet somehow he survived.
You really start to reflect on what's important, you know, your friendships and those things. And so, yeah, you get religious really quick. You know, I've always had faith, but that just, you know, that endorses that belief that there's a greater power and there's a greater picture for all of us out there.
He and his wife have since moved, but now a new family is currently in the process of building on their old lot.
Dittmanson says he's always loved watching storms roll in, but now has a newfound respect for them.
A year ago this morning, the owner of the Handyman Remodeling Center in Sioux Falls was walking through the rubble, assessing the damage done by straight-line winds.
Steve Swenson says he'll never forget those images, but that's not what he remembers the most about the storm.
Amazing. I mean, all the outpouring of help and all the customer support we've had, it's just amazing.
Swenson says right after his store reopened, COVID-19 hit, but Handyman weathered that storm as well, and he didn't have to lay off any employees. Well, Sioux Falls Mayor Paul Tenaiken says what he remembers the most about the disaster is the way people came together to help.
Parts of the community were hit hard last year with debris littering streets and yards. But look around 1 year later and you'll notice big changes.
Well, I would say today, if you drove around our city, you'd be hard-pressed to see any place where you'd say, ooh, a tornado must have came through here. Because the rebuilding is done, obviously the debris is clear.
Tenaiken is also grateful there were no deaths linked to the storm. Well, turning to weather now, temps are warming for the weekend here in KELOLAND.
Let's find out how warm it could get with meteorologist Brian Karstens.
Yes, warmer, and that's probably a good thing right now. Many of us are kind of looking forward to that, but today it's a little more of a struggle. We've got clouds, we've got some showers, and even some drizzle occurring, so that all kind of adds up to a limitation on our forecast. Let's take a look at some of these conditions here as we look at what's ahead. That cooler weather today. East River has the best chance of rain this afternoon. Showers tonight, they'll be light, but again, can't rule them out. And then tomorrow and into Sunday, warmer weather, very likely. We'll spell out the details coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Brian. A grand jury has indicted a Rapid City man on a first-degree murder charge in a shooting that investigators say was staged to look like a suicide. 25-year-old Dion Bordeaux is accused of fatally shooting 22-year-old Jeanette Jumping Eagle in Rapid City in January.
Police found the victim with a gunshot wound to the head on New Year's Day. Investigators say Bordeaux was one of two men in the room at the time of the shooting. He was arrested on an unrelated warrant and has remained in custody.
Rapid City Police need your help finding 22-year-old Dakota Zeiser. They believe he may have information on an August 24th double homicide. If you know where Zeiser may be, contact authorities.
Dozens of bison have been relocated from the Grand Canyon's North Rim to Native American tribes in the Great Plains. A recent roundup led to the transfer of 57 bison to the Intertribal Buffalo Council.
Tribes in South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, and Oklahoma had requested some of herd. The roundup is part of an effort to reduce the size of the herd roaming the far northern reaches of Arizona.
The Sanford International tournament tees off this morning.
KELOLAND's Max Hofer joins us live with what you can expect today and for the weekend.
Good morning, you two. That's right. I'm here at the Minnehaha Country Club at our very own KELOLAND Chalet, just overlooking the 18th hole here. Now, it's a little cold outside, but that's not going to stop tee-off for the first round of the Sanford International from happening. That starts at 11:45 this morning and goes until 5 p.m. Now, on Saturday, the second round starts and ends at the same exact times. Also happening on Saturday is the EMC Legend Series, which will feature golfing greats such as Jack Nicklaus, Andy North, Hale Irwin, and Tony Jacklin. Now, they will start at 4 p.m. at the 10th tee following the very last tournament group. Then on Sunday, the final round, which starts at 10 a.m., with the trophy being presented to the winner at 5 at the 18th green. Now we'll have our weekend and sports team bringing you coverage on who takes home the victory this weekend. Reporting on location from the Minnehaha Country Club, Max Hofer, KELOLAND News.
Thanks a lot, Max. And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens.
All right, weather it is, and we've been tracking some lighter showers this morning in central and western South Dakota, even some pockets of drizzle around Sioux Falls. And the thinking is we'll continue to see some of this moisture streaming up from the south during the course of the day here and into the evening, especially pushing into southwest Minnesota tonight. Meanwhile, West River will look for some decreasing clouds, and that'll spell out warmer weather tomorrow as sunshine prevails in Rapid City. However, Sioux Falls and Brookings, Watertown are going to hang tight with a few more clouds during at least into the early afternoon. So mid-upper 60s would be more likely in those locations. And then by Sunday, we'll clear things out and allow an opportunity to warm up a little bit more. Highs there tomorrow, about 70 in Aberdeen, 75 Pierre, 76 Rapid City, and we're going to tack on some momentum on those numbers going into next week. Look at that. By the middle of the week, we're talking 80-degree weather. In fact, even Sioux Falls by, I would say, Tuesday looks pretty warm. 57, though, today. That's a cooler day. 63 Rapid City. And as we wrap up on your 7-day forecast, I will add a couple of thoughts here. The Day 7 forecast on Thursday, there's a pretty strong cold front knocking on our door, and that could mean another big slide on temperatures. Starting Thursday, more likely into Friday, and you'll hear updates on that. Aberdeen in the Northeast, 70s for the weekend. 80s Monday, Tuesday. You'll notice that outside this rain chance today, there's not a lot of rain coming. And Pierre is also looking mainly dry early next week. So as temperatures climb, there will be fire weather concerns returning to South Dakota. So I know it's hard to flip gears all the time, but that's kind of where we're going. Rapid City also upper 80s by Tuesday. Check out more details online at KELOLAND.com and have yourself a great Friday.